I woke up and it was all a dream.
Hello, today I'm going to teach you how to make a animation or film on the game Little Big Planet. So, these are the essentials you're going to need to start out. You are going to need a movie camera, a battery, a sequencer. Now you don't have to have the selector, but to me I find it essential because I use it a lot. A character animation tweaker, a in and out mover, a mover, a magic mouth, and of course can't have a animation without the character, the Sackbot. So, what I got over here is an already made setup short film. So I'm gonna play that for you and show you what it looks like when you put all of it together.
Honey, I'm home. So how was your day? Good to hear. When is dinner gonna be ready? Well, I'll see you then.
As you saw, that was just a short film I made. It's not really that hard. Anyway, to start off, you're going to need a sequencer, which is the big sequencer I used right here. You can enlarge them or shrink them, it's your choice. And then you're going to need to place it on any object that you're going to mainly use it for. Once you place down that sequencer, like so, let me pull out some. Once you take out your sequencer, you are going to want to have this pop up. Now this is where you put everything you need here. All the animation stuff. Well, not all of it, but you're still going to need it. So once you click to view the sequencer, you're going to see trigger radius, layer detection, seconds per stripe. So every stripe on there, that's how many seconds something gets. If it loops or not. And then all this other stuff that you really don't need. Now, in order to, you don't have to have the trigger radius on unless you're just making a casual level, but it's really your choice. So, for the start off, after you get down your sequencers, so you're going to have multiple of these, remember that. After you get down your first sequencer, you are going to get down a movie camera. Now, that's pretty self-explanatory. Movie camera is what gives you the direction which you see for what you film. After you get down a movie camera, once you get down a movie camera, if you view it, obviously you can click to see angle to zoom, which is where you pick to see where you want to angle it at. And then you copy it, make another one, and then place it under it. Now, why would you place another one directly under it? Well, because we call this transition. Without transition, you wouldn't be able to switch between things. That lets the camera move on its own. Anyway, transition gives its movement. So if something is moving through screen, or you want to pick like a new position where the camera's pointing, well, then you pick the type of transition, you point the angle and zoom, how you want it to transition. So we'll go with a hard pan. Now remember, each stripe is 1 second long right now. That's what it's set on the sequencer. 1 second. I should have probably set that. Remember to always put objects on static so it stays where it is and doesn't have its own physics. As you see, just like that, moves the camera within a period of 2 seconds. Now you can lengthen it, which is what I don't do. I at least put 2 seconds for my main sequencer. I call it that. You can call it whatever you want. Again, your choice. So after you do that, now we want to animate the Sackbot. Once you get your Sackbot, You can skin it however you like, dress it up however you like. Let's give him some glasses. Give him the afro wig. After you do that, you are going to want to pull up its microchip by clicking the L1 button. After you do that, you are going to want to take another sequencer and place it on the Sackbot's microchip. And you don't have to have a selector, but I use a selector because I find it more easier. Once you place down the selector, you want to take its output 2 from its right side and put it in the sequencer for start playing forwards. And then you take the other part of the selector and place it in the Sackbot's personality input. Once you do that, you want to grab a battery, which is everything that powers your Sackbot. So I want my Sackbot to start right there at the, right at the 2-second mark, right when the 3rd second starts. Once it's done that, all you gotta do is connect your battery to the back of the selector input 2. Once the game allows you to do that. After you do that, you want to give your Sackbot some animation. Because what is a Sackbot without giving it its own type of animation? After you give the Sackbot its animation, what you want to do is you want to view it. Now, hold on, let me get it out of, there we go. Once you click to view the animation, you can see you can rotate it to where you want to face it, which direction it looks at, the type of animation here, which I'll show in a second, how fast the animation acts, whether you want it to go in reverse or play forward, how long you want it to continue the animation, I'll show you that here, whether you want it to loop or reset if it's inactive. Now let's give it an animation. Since I have the cameras to move to the right of the screen, I'm going to want to look for a walking animation. Now you have multiple characters from the game. You also can go to Sackboy Miscellaneous, which is where I normally go for my stuff, but let's pick a regular character. I'm gonna go with Avalon. We'll go with his fat medium walk. Now let's give it an animation speed. As you see, his animation speed is at 60. Its normal default is 100, but I'm setting it to 60 to look more casual. You want to now it really depends. If you leave it on no and you place another animation, it's gonna look all clunky like it's a robot. So I recommend you keep on loop. Now the main thing when you do that is you want to be really precise when you place it on here. Right now it's at 1 second, and it always defaults at 1 second. After you place that, you're gonna want to see how long you want your animation to last. After you put that there, you want to click square on your first sequencer. Let me just lengthen this a bit. Now we gave him a little walking animation, but why isn't he moving? Simple answer. You need a mover. Without a mover, your Sackbot will not move, unless you slap it. But we're not going to do that. So let's give it a mover. You can pick between its left and right speed. Left is negative, right is positive. It's up and down speed, so if you were like placing it on the backdrop and you want it to walk up and down, well, that's pretty simple. Now you always want to put the acceleration at 100 and deceleration at 0. Because right now if it was at 50, since it's at 50-50, it will not move at all. Because, well, if you give it acceleration and the same deceleration, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, so let's give it a left speed of 2, and make sure you match it up with the length of its walk animation, or else it'll look weird. So let's see it now. There we go, our Sackbot has moved. Now, once you do that, you can add on some other things. Like give it a what is this called again? A magic mouth, which is what gives your Sackbot the ability to talk. Make sure you place it on your Sackbot's microchip sequencer, or else it won't link to your Sackbot. Once you do that, you want to view the magic mouth. Now, when you can give it text-to-speech on what it says. You probably are not seeing that. But once you, let me put on subtitle. You can also speak for it. You can give it a gibberish voice. But I commonly go for the recorded voice. So once you do this, walking down the street. Walking down the street. Once you record your voice, you want to line it up just with your animation or wherever you want to place it after it does it. Your choice. Make sure your camera is always also at the same length as this so it gets it all in the film shot, or else, well, it'll end short. As you see, walking down the street, our Sackbot has moved, talked, and, well, pretty much got its own personality now. Now that that's done, if you want it to move between in and out layers, really between your choice, you can give it an in and out mover, which is basically what it gives to move between layers, like to move like this. That's what helps it move in between layers. So what if I want it to say, I gotta place that here, I almost forgot. I want it to move, say, forward. Now when you move it forward, almost forgot. When you move it forward, you're going to want to also change the type of animation. Now you can keep the same animation, but what you're going to want to do is, since it's walking forward, you're going to want to face it in a position of where it goes. So pick a position on where you want it to go back or forward. Your blend time, you can pick the type of blend time. I always go for a default of 30 seconds. It's not always a default, but it's a default to me. I always put it on 30 seconds. It just helps it. After you do that, you're going to want to put the animation, make sure your animation is always like somewhat connected. You don't want to have it like this, or else it'll randomly stop doing what it's doing and then continue. You want to have it slightly connected. Once you have it connected like that, and you have where you want it to walk, now you want to pick its speed. Just like the mover, you can pick how fast it goes, and then here is where you pick where you want it to move. You can make it move back once, move in once, or you pick the layer you want it to move to. I'll make them go to layer 2. And we'll give them a speed of 1.5. So let's see this in action. Walking down the street. As you see, he walked forward within the amount of time I put it on the sequencer. The longer these are, the longer they'll last. So, walking down the street. After that's done, you pretty much got your film. Now, for this one, I have some extras. What I used extra was some music. You can pick any music you want that you have at your disposal. The global lighting tweaker, which is what gave it this effect. The sound, which gave it the explosive destruction. And then the destructor, which destroyed the door down here. These are only extras. You don't have to have them. It's really your choice in whatever you're making. So whatever you make, you can use any of this. If you want me to say, well, if you want him to have like some footsteps, like as he's walking, you can do that. The footsteps, it's pretty weird, so you want to do multiple of these instead of just making it longer. So let me find it. So let's see. Now it has footsteps. Again, it's really your choice to what you add to it. It's whatever you want to make. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Bye.